I was jamming out to the countdown music. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, okay. Well, we're down to folks, but welcome. It's a morning for us over here on the US side, but afternoon for Europe. Hello. And then it's like overnight for like Australia and Asia, right? It's like overnight. So go to bed. You can watch this on the replay. Good morning from Baltimore. Yes. Oh my goodness. This is interesting. I went on a date with a guy who was Greek, and his family, like, or he was born in the States, but then like raised in Greece. A lot of Greeks in Baltimore, as I guess what I'm saying. Hello from Norway. All right. Well, today we're kicking off. We're talking all things semifinal two, and then we're talking about Italy, Germany, and the UK. And I think let's kick off and talk about like our big five folks. Let's start off with the UK. How are y'all feeling about the UK this year?
Nice man. It's cool. It's a cool song. I like it more every time I listen to it. I like it a little bit more. I don't know if I loved it the first time I listened to it, but I get into it. It's fun. It's a good time, and I can't wait to see what they do with the staging. It could be epic, or it could be big trumpet flop like last year. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so excited to see though.
I love that like big trumpets has become a bit synonymous with like dodgy staging. It hasn't even been a year. Um, the UK, honestly speaking, is the one I have been struggling all season to make my mind up about. But I think that's purely coming from my Irish perspective. Like it or not, as neighbours and in terms of actual Eurovision results, we're very closely tied in terms of the issues we've been having and the results we've been getting and so forth. Um, I think Sam is the absolute best part of this entire package for me. I don't think the song is particularly anything special. And uh, I don't know what to expect in terms of the BBC staging. I think there's a lot of good attitude and so on in the delegation, and that's very important. But I'm a little bit confused. I'm not going to lie by some of the hype I'm seeing online for Spaceman, and that's not to put it down, but maybe there's a little bit of bias, a little bit of pessimism in me from my little corner of Europe where I just don't expect this to fall on the scoreboard where other people do. I'm seeing top five, top 10 left hand side, and I'm just kind of sitting there going, I don't see it. I see this for the UK coming a respectable like 13th to 18th. I really don't think this is a last place contender at all. I think this will collect some points, but I just don't know if it's going to collect a lot of points. And where it will collect points, I think, will be down to Sam's performance and his live vocal, because I think juries will reward this somewhat. Depending on its running order, I don't know where televoters are going to pick the phone up for this over Spain, Italy, Sweden, other heavy hitters. But I'm willing to give it more time. I'm willing to give it more time.
Yeah, I think what you're mentioning, Louise, is the fear of momentum. That is my worry. The only thing that I worry about when it comes to talking about the UK with a winner potential model. Do I think it is a package that could win? Yeah, I do. And I should say, is it a package that could win in a year like this? Yes. I think people sometimes cite, remember, I'm running, I'm scared. Yeah. But where it was sort of like this kind of safe, solid. This one I don't even think is safe. Like safe, it's solid, but not safe in a negative. But I think safe in a comforting factor, safe in a thing that in a space that this feels very English, and and I think even safety in the sense that like I kind of trust Sam, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like there are performers that I sometimes worry about, like before they open their mouth and get on the stage, where I'm just like, oh God, are you gonna hit it? Are you gonna hit it? Are you gonna hit? Oh no, you didn't. I don't have any of those nerves. Like I just feel like when Sam hits the stage this year, I can exhale. And I think a lot of people might feel that. But I understand why some people have trepidation. But I do think that although the past momentum might not be there, I do think that there's been a steady drumbeat of the UK since the song dropped, and maybe that could help it. Let's go on to another Big Five country that's been struggling, and let's talk about Germany. How y'all feeling about Germany?
Germany.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Germany's my second home country, so I'm like, I literally have like two of the current worst Eurovision nations to my name. I'm like, it's so cute, but like this is such a last place in the grand final. This is like all I can say. Like where he's so lovely and it's so cute, but where is this going to get points? Like it's just going to get totally, totally forgotten. Um, yeah, Germany were like on a trajectory and they've just fallen off. And I don't know where they landed. I'm looking for them. I'm like, where are you? That is all I have to say. I'm so sorry. I agree. Germany's not bad. It's just too safe. And too safe means forgettable. Yeah.
So Germany for me, I feel like I'm definitely in the camp of I like Germany. So I do. Okay. So maybe it is because Alicia has definitely called this out where the rap part of the song is definitely Eminem-esque. Okay. And so, hello, I'm from Detroit. If you don't know, if anyone's heard Eminem music more than they ever wanted to, it's anyone who lives in the Detroit area because they play it on the radio constantly. Very familiar with Eminem. Not a hater by any means. Rap really isn't my genre, but I'm cool with it. And so I really do. I enjoy Germany's track. I like how it goes from, this, just melodic kind of storytelling into the rap. I like it. I like the lyrics. I know they can be a bit like a little corny, a little cheesy, but welcome to Eurovision. And I don't know. I like it. I do. I don't hate it. I have no expectations for it as far as like the votes and all that, but I'm kind of liking Germany this year.
Yeah, I think where I'm at is it. Let me start from here. Of the options that Germany presented us with, I am cool with them picking this one. This is the one that I was like, I would probably go for this one. I think he seems lovely. I like the fact that he feels connected to the song, but it's just giving me a lot of gym class heroes in a way. And I just like gym class heroes was such a moment. Like they're one of those acts that everyone's just kind of like, what? I mean, we know what happened, but it's sort of like, what happened? Because that could have just been like a whole thing. But like the lead singer, I think was like on drugs. So I think that's like what happened. And so it's just giving me so much of that in a way, but that was also like 11 years ago. 11 years ago for me. So it just, there's nothing really bad about it to me. But I think with what Germany's trajectory has been and track record at Eurovision, I don't think that this is enough for Europe to go, oh yeah, we totally forgot. Like, and you have now wiped the slate clean. And it's just really unfortunate because Mikael Schulte gave them like a nice clean slate to just go forth with. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our host country. Let's talk about Italy. How are y'all feeling about Italy?
I'm still not sick of it. We've had this track for so long. We've had it for a lot longer than other countries, and I'm still listening to it. I'm never skipping it. It doesn't get old. It's aged like a fine wine. Okay. And vocal Mahmoud, like, oh my God, his vocals, smooth. They're like butter. And I can't get sick of it. I love it. I don't know if it can win just because I know there's like, people don't really like the same country winning 2 years in a row. But I love it. I love the dynamic between the two. Like they're so different. They're telling different stories in the same song, and it's so cool. And I can't wait to see again what they do with the staging, just because, you know, staging is pretty basic on the show they won. But yeah, I mean, winner potential if ever. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we're going to have a back-to-back winner this decade, Italy is looking like a very decent prospect in that regard. And I actually think there's kind of something for everybody within this. I hear a lot of people talking about Mahmood, and when I see my local friends' reaction, they're like, "Oh, it's Mahmood." But actually, for me personally, Blanco is the standout in the song. I really really enjoy his vocals on the song. But you've got the kind of it's not even quite a dialogue they're having. It's like a parallel monologue, and yeah, like their own stories interwoven within the song, but they still harmonize together. It's together but it's separate. There's actually a lot of layers to this. Uh i i found this more impactful. It had an immediacy, which is what it needs in a contest. So I think it will ultimately do well. Wind opening my door here. But I think it would be interesting to see how the televoters respond to a host country in this instance. But in my mind, Italy is one of the three in with the biggest chance of taking the crown this year. And I mean, I wouldn't be mad. We could go back to Italy. We had some good cities putting themselves forward to be host cities. We could head back to Bologna. We could head back to Milan. You know, there's some options. Um, and I like the track. It's remained in my top 10. It hasn't stayed up the top for me, but it's stayed within the top 10, and that's the most important thing.
Yes, and I am going to bring to the stage with "We Missed You" for the first, well, like, yeah, I feel like we haven't even been that live that long. But with thoughts on Italy, how are you feeling about the track?
I'm so delighted that I happened to arrive in the middle of Italy. It is my favorite song by miles and miles and miles. Just like last year, only last year they shared first place with France. But I love this song so much. I think it might actually, I don't know. Soldi has been my most played song on Spotify for the past 3 years. And I think it's going to stay that way. But I think Brevity is probably going to get close. I remember after like a week after the, no, not even a week, just a few days after their semi in San Remo, they'd been played like 50 million times or something on Spotify. And I think I was probably half of those. So yeah, I love it. I love Mahmoud, and I think the way he and Blanco work together, it's just stunning.
Yes, I mean, I won't bore people with my opinions on Italy. I've talked enough about it, but I think the fact that we are talking about Italy potentially being able to do a double, I just don't think it's crazy. And I understand for some people they don't connect to the song, but there were plenty of people who didn't like Toy. I still see those comments. There were plenty of people who did not like Arcade. I still see those comments. You know, so just because a song could be divisive where some people are like, I just don't get it, you know, it's the Eurovision Song Contest. It's a lot of different perspectives in there. And I will say I played this song for, well, I played all the Eurovision songs for my mom, and this was one of the one, it was immediate for her. She saw, I showed her the live performance and the music video, and my mom was just like, see, this has something for everyone. I don't know why that was like her take on the song per se, but that was literally her talk. She was like, yeah, this is something for everyone. I could just see everyone liking this. All right, well, we are now going to transition into semi-final 2, and actually let me pull up the running order so we can talk about it in order of the running order. But any general things, because this is what we did last time, any general reactions to the running order for semifinal 2, things that stood out to you, maybe things you were sort of surprised about. And actually, let's see if I could project it. But yeah, anything that stood out to y'all in the running order for semifinal 2?
So just like something small, I was listening to the playlist on Spotify in running order today, just so I could do my homework for this. And I felt like the party really got started after Australia. I really liked that second half. Not that there's like bad or like boring songs in the first half. I just felt like once Australia was done, the party really got started. And I mean, yeah, that first half I just didn't love. And I think Georgia has a really good spot because after Azerbaijan, Georgia is like, it was like, oh, fun. Okay, cool. So that's a couple things I noticed.
I love that it starts out with a bang, though.
With Finland.
Having Finland open the show, I think that is a way of grabbing people's attention. And I'm quite certain that Finland is going to qualify, and it wouldn't be out of place to have them open the final, I think, because maybe even more on the Saturday, it's going to grab the audience having a rock song open the show. Maybe even more than on the Thursday.
Yeah. Louise, any thoughts from you on the running order of Semi 2?
Really, just generally, I think for me, this is a bit of a, like, just looking here at the list of semi-final 2, I imagine this was quite difficult to compose a running order for. There's just a lot of different songs in it, even the way the songs fell into the various halves. I agree that the second half does wake you up a little bit. This running order definitely is helping some entries more than others. I know, coming from an Irish perspective, some fans weren't sure about our place. I actually think it really helps us where we have fallen in the running order, just in terms of who we're between and kind of what comes up afterwards. But yeah, this is a little bit of a hit and miss semi-final for me. I think I may have certain long bathroom breaks, and then I'll be back, jamming out for another 3 or 4, and then I'll dip in and out again. I love the final 2 songs. I think Cornelia and We Are Domi closing out the show is chef's kiss for me. Perfect.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest standouts were, like, I get in theory putting Finland to open the show, but if they had seen the national selection performance, I don't think that they would have made that choice. I think they were making it off of the studio cut, but that's just me. I would have given myself a more of a, like, I don't know. The vocal in the national selection was not where it needed to be for the Eurovision stage, but I am hopeful that won't be an issue. I would have put Ireland lower. Like, I will say that. I don't think it's completely hurt, but I just think I would have. I would have probably tracked Ireland a little bit lower, and I wouldn't have had Poland and Montenegro next to each other. No. Yeah, I wouldn't have done those. What I would say. I just wouldn't have put those together, and I think those are my standouts. But let's get into semifinal 2, and we're gonna kick off. And let's just open and talk about Finland. I said my words. Viv, you spoke on it. Tara and Louise, Finland.
Don't have much to say. It's not a favorite. I don't know. I don't love it. I didn't love the lyrics. I don't love the tone of his voice. I'm not familiar with this band. I know they're popular. So me, like, outside looking in, completely unfamiliar with them, just not a fave.
I love these guys. We spoke to them on Hub last week. They're super cool. They're really interesting. And I think their popularity is going to stand to them. I think they would probably be surefire qualifiers anyway, regardless of their name. I think there's always a place for a good rock song in Eurovision. And I think a lot of rock music fans will get behind this one. And I see this sailing into the final. It's quite nice after Måneskin winning last year to have a rock song opening up the second semi-final, and it's going to inject a little bit of energy into the night, and it will be cool to see what they do on stage. And honestly, I think UMK was one of the strongest national selections this year, so they've done really well to even get here and open the semi. So yeah, it'll be a good opener. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I will say, I do not skip this song. It comes in the exact right spot in the playlist. That's why I almost wouldn't have had it open. I would have almost had it to like resurrect me from like another song. You know what I mean? Because it just every time I hear it like in like the flow of the playlist, it's just like, oh thank God. Like it just comes always, and sometimes I'll just shuffle. But I have to reference this comment. After watching UMK and seeing Lori's ex-wife, Ooh Mama, Ooh Mama, and she did this song, Puka, like it was basically sort of this like dark electro metal song in Finnish. In my brain, I just was like, I want to hear Jezebel in Finnish. Like I want to hear it in Finnish. And to be honest, if it was in Finnish, I don't think that there would be anything borderline. If it were to be borderline, it wouldn't be anything borderline about the qualification. It would be surefire in the final. Let's. I was. Oh, go on if you want to hop in.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I had a Swedish friend who's a non-Eurovision person visit over Easter, and we listened to all the songs. And halfway through this, she said, they sound weirdly like the Rasmus. And I'm like, that's exactly who they are. She was like, what? So I think that they are a lot more popular still than at least I realized. But also, it sounds like just about any mid-'80s rock song. So I think that anyone who loved rock back in the 80s are probably gonna love this.
I think giving us the dad rock potentially that Bulgaria should have been giving us, maybe. But let's transition onto, and this is an interesting pair. I don't know if I would have put Finland next to Israel, because to me it's a shift. Like it's definitely like, okay, we've turned the corner.
It's jarring.
But yeah, how are y'all feeling about Israel?
Yeah, them following Finland is a bit of a jarring moment, going from one extreme to another. I don't know. They're gonna give us a show. We're here for a show, and I'm going to appreciate that show. I'll be into it. I don't have expectations with qualifications, but I'm excited to watch the show that they're gonna give us. I'm excited.
Also, he's a really good singer. I mean, say whatever you want about the song, and people are saying whatever they want about the song, but I mean, he is a really good singer.
There is no question that this is going to be delivered well live. I mean, and that's why, I mean, honestly, I understand that there are some people who don't like it, and I wouldn't say that I have the song, like, I'm not really listening to this track, but like it's hard for me to see it not advance, if I'm being real. Like, it's just, given what Eurovision is, and I think sometimes what people expect to see on the night, it's hard for me to think, just there's a reliability about it. So that's just where I'm at with it. Yeah. Tara?
I think I already spoke on it, but you just had a comment up there from Secret that said it's unlistenable. I agree that, like, on Spotify, I'm not wanting to listen to this song, but I am so excited to see it on stage. It's just one of those tracks where it's better live. I don't want to hear it on Spotify. I'm not into it. It's a little streaky for me, but on stage it's going to be cool.
I'm surprised this is in the second position, to be honest. It's not maybe where I thought it was going to be. I don't have a huge amount to say about Israel. It wouldn't be one of my personal picks, but I think there are people out there who will enjoy this. And I do definitely see a path to qualifying, despite maybe its less than desirable running order spot. And I agree, there's going to be a great show on stage. It'll be one to watch.
Yeah, so we go from Israel to another sort of arresting performance because this was also too. I was like, I wouldn't have put Israel and Serbia next to each other, to be honest, because I think that they're both visually arresting for very different reasons. But yeah, Serbia. What are y'all thinking?
I don't know how
Another
to
one of my
feel.
favorites. Yeah, I mean, I loved it the first time I heard it, and then when I saw her do it live, it's just I just want to grab the whole song and hug it. It's just stunning, and also her performance in Tel Aviv when she sort of halfway through the song unzips her bag and says, "I have soap." It's like she's just the most darling thing ever, and the song is like nothing else.
Yeah, I don't get this at all. Personally, it's grown on me, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a cultural difference, or I don't know. I don't see this picking up points from our neck of the woods. Maybe it will from more of its neighbors or Balkan friends, maybe. But that's Eurovision. It adds a bit of spice to the semi-final. It's going to be a bit of fun. I don't know if this will do maybe as well as some are projecting that it will, but this is one I'm probably the most unsure about, and I like that. I like the unpredictability of Serbia.
I don't like this one too much. It's just not my cup of tea. You know, it comes on. I don't know. I don't really like it. I don't know. I don't have much to say about it.
Yeah, so for me, I kind of like different. You know, Telemovish was low key kind of my winner. Then, so I think I am deeply fearful for it just given what happened with Telemovish. But I will say this qualification is not a question for Serbia. And to be honest, I don't think that, I don't think anything, Serbia could have done less and qualified, I think, to a certain degree. This is not a studio cut track for me. Like, whereas Telemovish was like art, but I definitely listened to the studio track. This isn't a studio track for me. This is, again, a visual. This is a pairing. I think it's arresting. And I think that this will get, it's going to make it through. I don't think I'm seeing the winner potential that some people are seeing. I think it checks a lot of the boxes of, like, I think this new phase of Eurovision that we're in, native language, out of the box, irreverent, but I don't know if that'll be enough to carry it through this year. I could see a surprise top 10 finish for it, but I also can see a sea of people simply just like, I don't get it. My mom, I played it for, and she was just like, I don't get it. And I explained it to her. I was like, well, you know, it's like this and this. She was like, okay. I don't get it.
I also don't see it as a winner, though. Absolutely
No.
Top 10, probably, or at least possibly, but definitely not a winner.
Do you guys think it's got more, like, will it get more televote love than jury love? Is that where you see it getting more love from? Because I just don't know where it's going to pick up the points.
I think that's where yes, televote. Yeah. I think unlike Portugal with Telemovish, I've said this before, Serbia has friends. You know what I mean? Like, Serbia has friends and they get it. You know what I mean? It's already sort of proliferated that market. Mm-hmm. So they get it and they're feeling it. So they can pick up the phone and call for it. Juries, the thing is, though, Balkan juries tend to like each other too, though. So, the thing is, I see this in the final, and it ain't starting from zero. Whereas like I think Germany might be starting from 0 points. You know what I mean? Like Serbia is not starting from 0 points. It's starting, I think, at least with like 30, 40 points. So then it can just build. It can build from there.
I think it might also get a lot of the Scandi televote because it's quirky enough that a lot of people. I've played it to a lot of my friends that aren't Eurovision people.
Oh.
And they go like, this is interesting.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I guess I don't speak. Well, because I was thinking, but I feel like the Nordic market will be just so busy voting for Greece, Sweden, like I'm like, won't they be just, Finland, I don't know, but that's, I guess, that makes me feel better, low key. Because I just feel like there was just this like panning of Telemo. Like I was shocked that the jury's just like blanked Telemovish. I found that shocking, but here we are. Let's move on to Azerbaijan. How y'all feeling about Azerbaijan?
I think I would have felt a lot better about it if it was in Azeri because the lyrics are kind of cringeworthy. I mean, I haven't heard him perform live, but he won The Voice or something, so I assume he can sing. And I mean, his voice is fairly pleasant to listen to. No, it's kind of a, yeah, well, I don't know.
Okay, so the first time I heard this song, I was watching the music video, and I had the most random thought popped into my head. I was watching it, I'm like, this guy looks like an actor. Like, he doesn't even look like your traditional singer. He looks very like Hollywood actor to me. He's just got that face. He's got that look. And so I was like, this whole video just kind of, to me, looks like you're watching this TV show, and they have this one random episode where someone falls asleep and it's like this dream musical episode. And that is that music video to me because he just looks like such an actor. I don't know. I just like the music video to me was like that random episode of a drama it's a musical episode and he's singing it and it's so dramatic and he's got this face of an actor. It's not for me. I don't listen to it. I probably only listened to it a few times, but the music video did stand out in that way to me.
Yeah, I've listened to this, I think 1.5 times. Once when I was listening through to every Eurovision song and I listened to this and at another point I said, oh, I must go back and listen to Azerbaijan because I don't remember it. And I turned it off halfway through. I just have so little to say about it. It's a song. It's there. But granted, it's one of the ones we know the least about live. So I will give it that. It remains to be seen how the rehearsals and so on go and what Azerbaijan bring to the stage because Azerbaijan can surprise us.
Well, first of all, I just clutched my pearls because he's 22. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? What? No. Somebody please fact check that in the comments. I refuse to believe. Okay. Azerbaijan, I would be okay with them taking an L on this one and sitting out. I don't know if it's going to happen though. Yeah, I don't know if it's actually going to happen. We know how they do the staging. Azerbaijan has qualified with less in some pretty sticky situations, I could really see all three of our sad boys, sad boy ballads making it through. I really could. But if anyone, oh my God, he's 22.
It seems half of the guys this year are 22.
1999. Oh my God, y'all. I cannot.
I thought he had like a big age of 30 at least. At least.
At minimum 30. At minimum 30. Oh my god. Okay, y'all. Yeah. So, someone said isn't Oakman 22 as well? Yeah, but he seems young.
And Sheldon.
Seems young. Like with not saying he looks old, but just the vibe I was getting was very I was getting like Sergei Lazarev. You know what I mean? Season performer. He's very good live. I don't know. Uh yeah, I'm just gonna move on. Azerbaijan. I don't need them. I don't need them in the final. There are other songs I'd rather see advance. But again, Azerbaijan just seems to always be able to get it done. But I don't think they don't have all of the friends that they normally have. But I think we could get all three of them. We'll see. I'm gonna do my semifinal prediction videos. I'm gonna film them today, and so they'll be out before I get to Italy. All right, let's move on to Georgia, which we touched on earlier. I will just kick off and say I hate songs at Eurovision that try to be something that they're not. Like, I really cannot stand it when some of y'all are like, oh, this song, like making it seem like it's poetry and art. It's like, it's just a well-produced pop song, and that's okay. Like, it's catchy. I like it. It doesn't need to have like all of this depth. I feel like Georgia's a little bit that, like, I don't have to go searching within this. I just like it. When it comes on, I don't skip it, and I'm just happy with what it is. What do y'all think about Georgia?
Circos, miracles. I love it. It's great. Followed up by following Azerbaijan. Perfect placement for this song. It's a vibe. You listen to it, you're having a good time. I'm really interested to see like the show they give us with the song, like the staging and all that, and styling. I think it's going to be really cool, really interesting. It's going to be everything Azerbaijan isn't, and it's going to stand out. I love the song. I really like the studio track a lot.
I love this song. Like, I'm voting for this 100%. And watched Ireland and UK give this like a top 3 televote. Like, I'm very, very certain it's very kind of garage band, like something that we just love on the radio, like at our festivals we have here in the summer. Like, this is right up our street. This like experimental kind of sound. I just love it. It's so, like, every time I listen to it, I get something else from it. But yeah, it's not pretending to be anything that it isn't. But there's so many quirky, cool things. Like, even say like the lyrics, lock me up, lock me down. Like, when he sings lock me up, the melody goes down. And when he sings lock me down, the melody goes up. And like all these kind of like little quirky things within the song, I just really, really appreciate. I think it's going to be a lot of fun on stage. I don't know, is this confirmed that it's Nika Kirkorov from Midnight Gold? Like, there's been kind of these rumors swirling that, like,
I don't think it's confirmed. And honestly, when I looked at them, I'm like, unless he got got plastic surgery and looks totally, or put on like a ton of weight or something, like, something that would drastic. He doesn't look like, I remember what he looked like. And I think some people were thinking this guy with the glasses was him.
Yeah.
But their teeth are different. Yes, I have analyzed it this deeply.
Unless he had something to do with the songwriting, maybe, or like something a little bit more behind the scenes. But it's very much like, I remember UK giving Midnight Gold 12 points, and people were like, what? And all the Irish in UK were like, yes, of course. Like, UK gave, you know what I mean? It's very much like that indie pop kind of electronic, experimental. I love this. I hope it will do well, and it's going to wake me up in the semi-final too.
This is something that I should love, and I love the idea of it. And I absolutely loved Midnight Gold. But this just doesn't do anything for me. I like it when it starts. I like, oh, this is going to get good. And then it kind of just goes, no, not my thing. And it kind of annoys me because I really, really want to like it.
You're not alone in not liking it, because I did just check the Eurovision scoreboard and it's 39th.
Oh,
so yeah.
I mean, ultimately, I think that this semi is really difficult, and I don't think that I think it will struggle in this semi, and I don't know if I'm counting it to advance. I was when I first heard it, but then once we got like the running order and stuff, I do think Georgia is served by it being, you know, really the breath between Azerbaijan and Malta. And look, everybody knows I love Midnight Gold. There was no doubt in my mind that Midnight Gold was qualifying. I had them qualifying that year, and I remember everyone thought that I was. It was like, you're an American, you don't know what you're talking about. And then when it qualified, I was like,
But that they were always going to qualify.
right? I was like, but yeah, whatever. I liked it. All right, let's move on. Malta.
Okay, so as a reformed Gleek, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but so there was a show called Glee, and the stands were called Gleeks, like a geek for Glee. This gives me Glee vibes all the way. So if anybody watched Glee, it was mostly covers. The show was mostly covers, but every now and again they would do an original song. This is that to me. It's very much a bit of a dated message song from like maybe 5 years ago. This would have been pretty poppin', but no.
Completely agree. This, for me, this is the most non-song of the whole contest this year. I forget it exists. So yeah, it's not that it's bad. And I mean, she seems to be a fairly good live singer, but no.
She is what she is. This is like, have you heard the like remix of this with Little Tot? Because it's written by or co-written by is it Dino? Is that how you pronounce it? Daughter's songwriter boyfriend. And it's really similar, except I don't know, Little Tot is elevated for me. Yeah, this is cute. It's, I don't see a world where it makes it out of the semi-final, but it's nice. It's a fun song. Emma's great. She'll deliver it well. And I think its running order isn't going to help it either in the longer term. But it's cute. It's a nice song.
I love Emma. I think that she shouldn't give up on Eurovision. I think she's unbelievably talented. I love the fact that she plays an instrument. Thank you, Piano 87. Shout out. Thank you so much. Here's the thing. My mom loves this song. And she literally said to me, she was like, I know that, you know, you don't really like message songs, but I don't know, maybe that's just where I am in life, and I really like the message. I am what I am, Mom? That's what she said. So I was like, okay, Dr. Sellers, I will take that note. Here's the thing. She's going to look really good. She's going to sing this very well. I think that this running order has completely muted it. Any idea that this would even, I mean, it might pick up some jury love. It might. But don't look at us. The running order really killed it. I think any chances it had to kind of edge out. But, y'all know how it is. It's just, it's not that I hate the song or anything like that. I think it's perfectly nice, generic, and easy listening, like music. But for me, it is just far too safe for me to want to blast this, you know, out of my car. And the lyrics feel trite at times. Okay. San Marino.
One thing before I move on, I will give to Malta. It's a pretty good shower song. Like if you're in the shower, you know, it's not that bad. It's a little bit of a vibe. But for the car, no, it's not for the car. San Marino, it's a fun one. I don't know. I don't have much to say about San Marino. I think it's definitely better. It's going to be better live than, you know, like with an audience. You know, I think it's going to be cool live. I don't have much to say about it.
All I need is love. Hey, like, can't you see the audience just going crazy, especially that Italian home crowd? This is going to be a fun one. It really, really will. I really can't wait to see it live. I think he's going to kill it. Love that Britney has a shout out in the song. Madonna gets a mention. This is fun. This is fun. It definitely has a place in the contest, and I think it will. I think it will get a bit of well-deserved love.
I really, really hope it qualifies, because this is going to be the biggest hit with all the people watching Eurovision at parties. And also, he's great. I really like this song. It's not like it's probably snuck into my top 10. So I really hope it's going to qualify, but not sure. He's, you either love him or you don't. So hopefully enough people love him. The song is fun. I love singing along to it. It's one of the songs that I sometimes just go back and play again when I have my playlist running. So yeah, I really hope it qualifies.
I love this. I would love to see it advance. I'm willing to let it go. I won't be like delusional. Like if we lose it and someone else gets in that I like, I'm cool with that. But I really want it in the final. That's just how I feel. Like I want that moment, but I might be coming to this with more of my producer hat on than anything else, because I just think it opening the grand final is like the opener that we need. All right, moving on to Australia. How are y'all feeling about Australia?
I don't have a whole lot to say for Australia. Uh, I I really respect Sheldon, and I really respect the message and what he's portraying within the song. I think he's an interesting artist, and I think Australia historically, generally with the staging has been a little bit hit and miss, but I see this as being probably more of a hit. Given they kind of had their national final this year, they've had time to go away and work on it. They've had some pre-party experience this year, and so forth. So they can go back and tweak it. Um, it just isn't personally to my taste, and I think there'll be a welcome wake up in the running order after this for me.
Okay. As a vocalist, he's phenomenal. I heard his cover of Sweden's track, and I'm like, man, if he had a better song, he could like top 10 easy. But for me, it's the song. There's just a disconnect there. I don't love it. People do though. Eurovision scoreboard's like top 16. I think it's gonna do really well. It's not my cup of tea. I think he deserves a better song. Same with Malta, if I'm being honest. She could serve so much better with a better song, but it's just, for me, it's just not my song.
I think he's stunning. I like the song as well, but I like him more than I like the song. I still have it top 10 though, so I really, really hope it qualifies. It's like that final, I don't know, 20 seconds or so, it kind of goes over the top for me. And I'm like, oh, calm down just a bit. But yeah, I mean, he is amazing.
I love this song. I am attempting to craft a top 10, and I'm starting from my ESC Plays playlist to try and go through that playlist and really whittle down like what am I really loving. And like this is just one of the songs that I'm loving. And I'm listening, and this is mainly, if I'm doing a top 10, obviously it's mainly based on the studio cuts too. I don't know if it's just because I feel like I can identify with it, but then when I even think to the live performance, I like the drama at the end. Low key, it's giving me, like, I believe him. And I think so many times at Eurovision, we have people delivering entries that I don't think people really personally can identify with. I also have like, and then conversely, not just with like ballads, even with pop songs, when you have like young female singers talking about stuff where it's like, you haven't even lived this, like you don't even know what you're talking about. Like I can disconnect really easily from things where it's just like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't believe you. I'm not buying it. I just buy this. I buy it so much. So that's why for me, I'm just like, maybe I'm just into it. But yeah, let's move on to Cyprus. How are y'all feeling?
Can I just say one thing about Australia before we move on? I completely agree with you. Live, the drama at the end works. On the studio version, I tend to, when he starts going off, I tend to sort of like skip on to the next song. But live, it really, really works. And he was amazing in Tel Aviv. So, yeah.
All right. Well, and I just want to note this comment. Sasha's doing the staging, y'all. And you know Sasha can do dark pop, okay? So, I think I understand why some people maybe feel lukewarm on it, but I do think most people feel like they might be like, yeah, I might be lukewarm on it, but like the vocal performance, the live performance, and in the mix of this semifinal, it will likely move on. But we shall see.
Not only his vocals, but also his stage presence.
Yeah.
It's like he looks like he belongs there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, because I think that's also a Eurovision thing where it just seems like, someone rolled up like, oh, I'm going to be performing today. Oh, let me sing a song. Not recently at Eurovision, but I think that's one thing I actually liked about Eurovision was you'd have these performances with someone just standing, singing like a song, no choreography, maybe some lights in the background.
Macedonia 05.
I was even thinking the one, I think Lithuania, I'm in love with you. Like where it's like, it just seemed like he just walked in and it was like, yeah, go on, sing the song. He's like, oh, okay. Like, hey, he's not giving that, like, but, sorry, I digress. Cyprus, talking about staging, Cyprus, what are y'all thinking about Cyprus this year?
I love Cyprus. I haven't really talked about my personal rankings today. Cyprus for me is top 3. I love it personally. It does it checks every single box. Like I get a little bit of English, I get a little bit of ethnic, I get a little bit of pop, I get like a beautiful girl. I love beautiful women. And I cannot wait to see the staging for this. I just want it to be ethereal in every sense. I just want it to blow me away. I want it to be stunning and just beautiful and ethereal. I love it. And I know Cyprus is usually in people's like favorites because they serve pop. They know how to serve pop. This has been my favorite track from Cyprus thus far. I love it.
This has been like for me a welcome reset for Cyprus because I think they've been doing a certain flavor of entry very well for a certain number of years, and they're doing something here with more of an ethnic twist. There was some talk I saw online of like, is it too much down that road of Greece 2018 where people wouldn't get it? But I don't believe that's the case because I really trust the Cypriot delegation when it comes to their staging and their styling. And I think the Cypriots never just pluck a song out of thin air and, throw it into the Eurovision sphere. I think there's always a lot of thought and a lot of time and energy put behind what they're doing. So I trust them and I trust her. And I think this is going to stand out actually where it falls in the running order. I don't think there's anything else quite like this within the semi-final. So I see this doing quite well for Cyprus on the night.
I'm quite sure it's going to qualify because it has something for everyone. I love the ethnic part of it, that proper Greek sound, a bit like I love half of the Greek entry in 2011, and I love half of the Cypriot entry this year. The pop part of it kind of gets to, I don't know, formulaic for me. And also, I don't think I've heard her sing live, so I don't know what she's going to be like on stage. But I'm quite sure it's going to qualify.
One thing I will say about the running order is I feel like Australia, even within its lyrics, it's a bit heavy, right? It's a heavy song with a heavy meaning and message behind it. And then I feel like Cyprus comes behind it as a breath of fresh air. And I feel like it's going to be just really light and refreshing.
I think I have seen a lot of people worried for Cyprus this year, but I think the things they've been citing as worries for it, I just don't think Cyprus has struggled with in the past. And so that's why I think I'm able to kind of pull myself to like, no, this is making it through. I do think that it feels fresh, and I completely agree, Tara, that there is something about this that does feel like a breath. A breath. So then I think we are going to have a break after Cyprus, in the running order. And then we move on to Ireland. So, Louise, I'm kicking it off with you.
My girl Brooke, she's got her passport back. There's like a Brooke Scullion iceberg out there somewhere. Like, this girl has not gone a week throughout the Eurovision season without like something hilarious happening to her. I just love her. But her and her wicked personality aside, I mean, look, behind the scenes within what's been going on in Ireland, like, you know, within our national selection this year, but also in terms of the other songs that I heard that which were submitted to RTE, this was one of the only ones that had a bit of a package behind it. So while I think this isn't exactly, you know, groundbreaking, it's not, of course, like a winner contention or anything like that. I think it's got a package behind it. It's fun. It's showing off a bit more of a modern side to Ireland, which we just kind of haven't really had. Like, we haven't really had something that represents like my age group or younger age group or teens or anything that like that really in quite some time. Brooke is cool. She's stylish. She's fun. We've got like a bit of spoken word in there. Staging can be a train wreck for Ireland. We just struggle so badly with it. It's just not something we've quite figured out yet. Brooke does have a team. She is definitely going to have two dancers. We know that much. We know it's going to be girly. We know it's going to be fun, and that it's not going to be in the sphere where it was for Eurosong. You know, there was kind of like hints like that Dua Lipa, New Rules, Slumber Party thing. I think it's being moved away from that, is what I've gathered. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what is done. And in terms of its running order, I think it's a pretty good slot. I think it's a nice change of pace after Australia and Cyprus, and going before Macedonia, I think is good for us. So I think a lot remains to be seen just in terms of our rehearsal and how that all goes. But overall, I'm quite happy with this entry this year. It's a nice step in the right direction for some modernity for Ireland and just something different and something new. I'm very curious to know what you all think, because it's very hard when you've been in the bubble. Like, I've been in this bubble since October of the Irish selection. So it's been very hard to switch off from that.
Okay. So I don't hate the track. I don't hate it. I know people, well, I don't know, people like Alicia is very much so like it could be euphoria. To me, man, this is Disney Channel. But here's the thing, I don't hate Disney Channel. It's just very shake it up to me. If you get it, you get it. I don't hate it. It's fun, but it's not for me. It's not, but I don't hate it. It's a good track. And like everything you said about like how it's good for Ireland, like this is a good path forward to where maybe in the future we could go somewhere else with our entries. It's good for Ireland. It's just not good for me.
Yeah, I'll just copy that. And also she needs to practice more, because I mean every time I've heard this performed live, it's been not flawless.
So now I'm gonna tell y'all, this is one of my favorite songs this year. That's rich. Hey. When it's coming from you, and that's rich. I love the attitude. I love the sass. I think the biggest reason why I like this is because I don't think it's coming to win Eurovision. I've talked about this before. There are some songs that sound desperate. Like, where it's like, you want to win Eurovision, so you're doing all of this stuff. This to me is just a current, fresh pop track being served with ease and attitude. And I feel that, it's interesting because, I've been with folks who are like, oh, I need more vocal. Doing what? And so I actually sat last weekend and I came up with like, and maybe when I meet Brooke, I can have her sing it and then I'll give her like the crazy ad libs that y'all are craving. And then you will know that you don't need more vocal on the track. That, that what it is good. I really feel this. I think somebody else said this. I'm not going to lie. I really feel like it should qualify. I don't know if it will qualify. But honestly, like in this mix of songs, I really do feel like it should qualify. Someone says, I'm curious what songs Alicia thinks are serving desperation. Well, like kind of what Azerbaijan does like almost every year, because they're coming like kind of to win, so it feels like, oh, you're trying to win. I think a big example of like a song that felt desperate to me was Sergei Lazarev and dun 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 dun, like come on, Scream, and then Austria last year was just so thirsty for the jury, and I was just like, I want you to stay in the desert. Like I just, where it's just so obvious. So that's my tea for the morning. I'm like, y'all got me early enough.
Brooke is a good vocalist. Like she came third in
really
Voice UK.
is.
She's very,
She
very
can
good.
like that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like she can sing. It's just, what are you craving?
It's not a vocal song. It's not a song she's
not.
going to do vocal runs on.
I mean, like, and so I like literally in the car, I was like, she could do like, oh, that's rich. Like you could do some stuff. But like, good God, like it would then get into that space of like, now you're just being desperate. It doesn't need it. Sometimes, like, on Project Runway, they'll say like, this garment just looks overworked. And that's what I mean when I say like songs that feel desperate, where it's just like, you just put in every single design element to show your craftsmanship, to try and, win this challenge. Where then it was like all we needed was just that immaculately cut like Calvin Klein dress that just falls well on the body. I don't know if folks are following that train of what I'm thinking, but
I think something it has going for it too is that it doesn't sound Eurovision.
It doesn't.
So if you were to add in the vocal runs or just a little bit of try hard vocals, it'll sound more Eurovision. Without that, with it just being a fun pop track, and I don't know, it doesn't sound Eurovision to me, and I think that could be what helps it. You're at the party listening to it, whatever. It's gonna stand out. It is, because it's a fun track.
I will say though, I think I would have had Ireland closing. And I mean, and that's no shade to Czech Republic. I just would have had Czech Republic, like, I think I might have had Czech Republic potentially run into Sweden. I would have just moved it. I would have just slotted it up more and had Ireland. And I probably would have had Estonia take us from the break to kick off the second piece. But let's move on to North Macedonia. And I'm going to kick it off with you, Tara, because you love this song.
All right. So yeah, this is definitely in my top 5 this year. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I think maybe Alicia has pointed out how it is very reminiscent of early 2000s American music. And so that's like a love of mine. And so I just really love the song. I love her vocals. I think she's beautiful. I really do. I love the studio track. I love the studio cut. I love listening to it. Is it going to translate to the stage? I don't know. Probably not, but I like it and I want it to do well selfishly because I love it.
Again, I'm going to say copy that. I don't love it, but I really, really like it. It's one of the songs that I will happily sing along to, and yeah, it's a really good song, and she's really good as well. I hope they manage to get a good performance out of the song, because it can go either way. And I mean, North Macedonia very often don't have the best performances. Sometimes they don't go far enough, and other times they just go way overboard. So I'm hoping they manage to give us a performance that matches the song and that lets her shine.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say on this one. I just think it's very solid. I think she's good. The song is good. And it will be interesting to see how they stage this. I don't know if it will stand out in the run of songs that it's in, but it's overall super solid. It's a good package. So you never know how this could do on the night.
So I think there's a question. Does Andrea actually say circles in the lyrics? She in fact does. My initial take on this song was like, when we first listened to it, I was like, oh, the end is like all wrong. Like, you know, if you're going to do that sound, there is kind of like a model to that sound, you know, for those of us in America. And I was like, the whole ending, she should never even sing the chorus. The backing vocals sing the chorus, and then you just, you know, take us to church. They did add some ad libs. Unfortunately, they don't take us, you know, we might be in the car on the way to church. But I don't know if I've gotten out of the car and I'm on the steps of the church yet. I think the ad libs in the end needed to just be turned up a whole bunch. And my suggestion was like I could have probably given them some ad libs they could do. But you don't have to ask me. I'm an American. You don't have to listen to me. But you know, Michael Rice could have helped him out. Low key to Tamara. Tamara can tear up a song, you know. So I would have been curious what she would have offered. I just think in the end of it, we needed it to crescendo. We needed different ad libs. We needed more of a breakdown in the song. And I just don't think the running order is serving this well at all. I don't know if anyone wants to wrap up any thoughts on North Macedonia, because then we can move to Estonia, which I just think between Ireland and Estonia, I don't think it'll end up standing out, because it does have sort of that mid-tempo, like R&B track vibe that then it's not giving the contrast to where I think it shines. I don't know. I just don't. I think the running order is not helping it, and at this point, because Estonia is just going to be so booming. What do y'all think of Hope?
I hope. This popped up at the Melody Festival in party. It was really fun. It's a crowd pleaser. I feel like this sort of country pop EDM vibe, like it's very like, you know, that Avicii 2013 2014 Wake Me Up When It's All Over, like that sort of sound. It's a real crowd pleaser. It really reminds me of Estonia sending Storm Victor Kron in 2019, and that did pretty well. So I see this as being on like a similar trajectory. Stefan's very good live too, and he's a super nice guy. He spoke really, really nicely in Stockholm, and he was like really, really grateful to be there and really loves the whole Eurovision experience. That's always nice too to see. And yeah, this is like an easy song to sing along with. Like the chorus is quite easy to access, and by the end of the song, you know, you could have the audience singing along. So it's feel good. It's up there for me. It's possibly one I would vote for actually.
For me, I think this is a great song, studio and live. So if I'm comparing it to San Marino, I'm like, live. It's going to be awesome. Going to be a good time, even kind of like Israel. But studio track, I could take it or leave it. This one, Hope, studio track, booming. Okay, I love listening to this song, and I think an audience will serve it well. This is meant to be on stage, but it's also a great studio track. It's got a lot going for it, checks a lot of boxes for me, and I feel like it's definitely going to qualify, right? I think so. Yeah.
Don't know what it is about this song, but I just can't.
But you know, it's so interesting. You're not alone. I was actually surprised because when I first heard it, I thought like, oh, like I was like, this could come top 10 at Eurovision. Like when I first heard it, I was like, there was something that just felt solid and it was like different enough. And then I think when I kind of said that, a lot of people were like, when I did my shock non-qualifiers video, Estonia was in the conversation. Some people were thinking that it might not even qualify. So
I think it might not even qualify.
I'm just thinking though, I have to say, superficially, you know, he's really, really good looking. And you know, he is good looking. Okay.
I need to check.
He is good looking. I don't know. Somebody snapped a photo. Whew. Stefan is good looking. Wait, isn't he hella young though too? Oh my God. Where are the grown-ups? Actually, for real, where are the grown-ups this year at Eurovision? Who is
He's
like
24.
grown?
He's mid-20s.
It would be better if he was 25. that would make it better. But yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, they're confirming it in the. I think that Estonia. I'm putting Estonia through. I think I'm putting Estonia through, but I hear people on the will it become forgettable, though. I don't think it will. But I am actually here for the discussion on it possibly not making it through, and trust and believe it would be shocking for me. Like I would be shocked if it didn't. But I almost am kind of like, but here's the thing, if it doesn't make it through, I could kind of see Israel or Romania making it through, where just people happen to be in a different vibe, where they want something party, they maybe want something that's a little bit more of the theatrics. So that's kind of how I see it. I'm like, well, if it doesn't make it through, then I think people are looking for a little bit more of the Alvin's 29. I could work with that. Yeah, I knew Constructed was
good
grown.
looking.
You know, it's so funny. We can digress because this is a ladies' live stream. I don't think that he's not good looking, but has anyone been around like Frenchmen? There's like a swag that they have, and I don't know, the energy sometimes is too much for me. Where I'm like, hold on real quick. Like it's like I need you to slow down a little bit. Like, so I think that's what's keeping me. Wait, is someone said Constructa might be the oldest at 43?
No, I think some of the members of Bulgaria's group.
Well, Bulgaria.
Yeah. Like late 40s, 50s, I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong. In terms of Estonia and qualifying chances, I would be like pretty certain this is going through. But where I actually see this struggle is the grand final. I could see Estonia like accidentally falling into the bottom 5, not by way of being penalized or punished, but just by way of being a little bit forgotten after making it out of the semi-final, because there's other songs within both semi-1, semi-2, and within the big 5, but more so within the 2 semis, where I see people really rooting for a country within the semi and following it into the final. Whereas I just don't know if people will have as strong a feeling toward Estonia as they would towards other entries.
Wait, hold on. Someone said Lithuania's artist is 50 next year. That is not true. Monica is not that old. You're mixing up another country. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be here for that. But let's pivot, and people are talking about URSS from Romania. Apparently it's not, it's not WRS or worse. It's like URSS. And URSS is 29 and singing Hola me bebe, hola me bebe, llámame, 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 hola me bebe, hola me bebe. Okay, yeah.
I like this song, man. I do. I think it's a good time. I do tend to favor songs with some English because I know what the lyrics are and I can either connect or not connect and judge and not judge. But this is so repetitive and easy for a I don't know what the language is he's singing in. Some people were saying that they thought it was Spanish, but it's not, right? It's his native language. Is it Romanian?
I believe he's Chilean or part Chilean or something.
Okay. Well, they speak Spanish.
Will be Spanish, yeah.
Okay. It's repetitive for me in a fun way that I can sing along to it. Like it's easy to pick up. It's easy to have fun to. I really enjoy the song. I think the revamp served it well. I like the choreo. I like how they mix it up. Boy, girl, boy, boy. It's a good time. It's fun. It's interesting. I like it.
I don't need it to advance. I like the studio cut, but I just don't need it to advance. Like, we're thinking about it. Some people got to make it through and some people can't. And, I think for me, if I stay true to myself of like, I want like the most competitive, like Eurovision grand final where I'm like, who could come like in all these slots and stuff. Romania making it through would feel like taking the spot of something else. Particularly in this semi, but to be honest, I think even if Romania had a really, really great song, I would be worried for its chances to qualify in this semi anyway, because we know we're going to lose a good song, I think, in this semi.
This one is fun. I listen to it and I want to be on the beach in the Costa del Sol with my cocktail. I love the amount of Spanish representation in Eurovision this year. It's great. I'm very here for it. I was on a Eurovision night out recently with some other Irish fans, and all night we were greeting each other with "Hola mi bebe." Like, it does get hooked in your head. But Alicia, I agree with you. I don't know how competitive this is for the final. Would it make for an interesting spot in the final? Possibly not. But I would be happy for this to go through nevertheless.
One thing I'll add last is I expect the styling to be so much more elevated than what we saw, because I've checked out his Instagram a few times. He is a stylish man. He can pull off fashion, and that's what I expect to see. Because the choreography that they're going with, although fun, it's not like Chanel demanding kind of choreography. So I want to see fashion from him. That is my expectation, because he's serving on Instagram.
Yeah, because the live performance from the national final was awkward. It felt slightly, when you just literally want to hide behind a cushion because it's embarrassing watching. That's kind of the feeling I got. It was, no, don't do this. I'll happily dance along to it, no doubt. But unless I'm dancing, I would rather not listen to it. And I had this nightmare the other day when I woke up with it playing in my head, and it just would not stop. It's like I managed to get it out, and half an hour later, poof, there it was. I was like, no, don't do this to me. So, but yeah, I'll dance to it.
All right, let's move on to Poland. How are y'all feeling about Poland this year?
This is the beginning of the prolonged bathroom break for me, just personally, in this part of the semi-final. I know there's love out there for Poland. There's wanting me to love this. I just don't. I'm not crazy about the lyrics. The song doesn't go on enough of a journey for me, and I think it would take a lot for the staging to elevate this any more for me than where it is. And that's really all I have to say about Poland.
Yeah, Poland, man, I don't know. The lyrics are odd, a little. They're kind of odd, and his enunciation of some of the words is a little like off-put. Like the way he says, "Oh Lord," I don't know. It's just
That's classical. It's so funny because I said this, I think, in one of my reaction. I don't even think it was my reaction.
Trained, right?
Yeah, that I was like, you could tell he's trained, and people were like mad at me. They're like, he's from Massachusetts. What do you mean accent? I was like, I didn't say accent. I said his phrasing, because you can tell people who are classically trained, they have a way of like doing diction. And I say, like, as a musical theater kid, sometimes when we would get the classically trained kids rolling around, rolling in like, oh, well, I'm a singer, so, I'm definitely going to get these parts. And then they just would get in there and it's like, it's musical theater. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have like the attitude, you know what I mean? Like, and they'll just come in and sing the songs very technically well, but is it fitting the way the character should be kind of singing the song? So I just, not to cut you off, but just to explain that for folks so they don't come for you in the comments, which
yeah. No, and I totally get it. But, and like you said, like, just because you sound good doesn't mean I like the way you sound. You know what I mean?
That's real. Say it again. Say that again.
Just because you can sing and you sound really good does not mean I have to like it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. And the lyrics for this song, don't really care for. The way he sings, don't really care for. Objectively, like outside looking in, yeah, is it a good song with a good vocal? I don't know. Good vocal, sure. I don't know. I don't like the song. It's got a lot of hype. It's gonna qualify, probably. I don't know. I want to hear if you guys think it'll qualify, because I don't know.
I think it's qualifying. I do think it's qualifying, because I do think that there's a path to have all the sad boys make it through. I think that there are some people who do really love this song. I think the vocal and Balkans, they like a good vocal. And I think that this will hit them. I also think that there are some people who this song feels very fresh and modern for them. But I will say, it will flop if he is just standing on stage behind one mic and they don't have him moving. You have to emote with songs like this. You have to make us believe it. Bury all of my things, and he just it just feels very like technically proficient, but we gotta believe you. Like, give us the strife. We need the theater a little bit. But I don't know. I just don't believe that Poland would just have him like behind a microphone singing it. I just don't think that that's what's going to happen. So with that said, I think it's going to qualify. I do think it's going to qualify.
I have this feeling that this is one of the songs that I liked better in the beginning. And I haven't listened to it that many times, but when it comes on now, I was like, why did I like this again? I mean, it's not a bad song. He's definitely not a bad singer. So I don't know why, but all of a sudden I realized that I used to like it a lot more than I do now. And I might have listened to it like 5 times.
I think it came out when we didn't have a lot. We weren't being fed too much. This came out a little early. And so comparing it to like 5 or 6 other songs, it did stand out. But then the rest came out and then we're like, oh yeah, okay.
But I didn't listen to any of the songs until all the songs had been selected. So I listened, well, apart from Norway and Iceland, and Italy. But it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think this is the song that, like, if I knew nothing about Eurovision, I don't think I'd think it would, like, if I didn't know about Eurovision and I only was going off of, like, you know, what's in the charts and popular music and me being an American, I don't think I would think that this was qualifying. I don't think so. If I knew nothing of Eurovision, I don't think I would think that. Because mainly I'd be focusing on like the studio cut, but knowing that it's the full package, and I think Poland wants to do well. I think that the stage, he just needs to sell it more, and the Polish delegation needs to make sure that the staging is something, and by something I don't mean just LEDs. Like, he needs to move. We need to have moments. And I know some of y'all don't like the drama in Australia, but during that bridge, if he is not down on his knees crying out to God, I just don't know what. Oh, you know, get down on the ground, cry out to the high heavens. Like, give me the dramatics if you want me to believe you. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate that. I'd be like, yes. I'd be like, boy, yes. Wait, I don't have like a towel, but here. I'd be like, yes. I mean, because it's crying out for me. I mean, maybe I'm just in a Sunday mood, but it is crying out for me to, you know, go to church.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with you. They need to do something to make the song stand out. And they need to do something completely different to what they did last year. Because they tried, but they missed.
Yeah.
But yeah, now this is a song that I thought I was going to have in my top 10. And nope.
Yeah. I do that, but I think that's what when it came out, I was like, no, like it could still kind of like stay around. And I think at that point too, it was shaping up to be a weaker year. I don't think that this is a super strong year, but it was looking bleak around that time period. So there was something refreshing about this. All right, let's move on to Montenegro. Breathe.
Not to be a massive ballad hater all throughout this stream, but
Hate away, man. Hate away.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling this one either. It's a bit flat. I don't know. I know there's like beautiful meaning behind it, and she's stunning and everything like that. I guess just doesn't click for me. It's a little bit like I've got a recipe together, and there's like just a little something missing, and I don't know what it quite is, but it would all come together if I had it all together. But yeah, I'm not feeling this one. And yeah, you alluded to this earlier, Alicia. It's just kind of a strange running order spot to follow Poland. I don't really see one or other benefiting off being beside each other.
But wait. Poland might benefit because I do have to speak on this. The live vocal at the pre-parties. So this is not the real Eurovision stage. So, you know, it hasn't been great. So Poland could benefit where it's just like, oh, but he was singing. You know, like he was singing, you know, so it could benefit him in that place. Same thing. Yeah.
I heard this one in Stockholm live, and I don't remember it. And the other ones that I did hear live, like Stefan Hope and some other ones, were elevated for me. Like after the weekend in Stockholm at Melodifestivalen, I was like, oh, Hope is going up in my ranking. Like I loved that. I have nothing else to add or say about Montenegro. So to me, that isn't a great sign. Obviously, all can change in Eurovision week, but yeah.
I don't have anything to say about this song. It's not on my playlist. I've heard it maybe 2 or 3 times. Didn't really take me anywhere. I felt like it wanted to build and take me somewhere, but I just stayed in my seat. Oh.
I think I would have appreciated it in Montenegrin more.
Yeah, I don't know if it would still be one of the songs that I forget actually exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we go through the songs, I always forget. And when we go to, and they go, so what do you think about Montenegro? And I go like, what's Montenegro? And I don't think that's a good thing for a Eurovision song.
It's unforgivable. Okay. Let's move on to Belgium, which this was in my mom's top 10 from Eurovision. Yep. Okay. Sometimes I feel down. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. This song reminds me of okay, y'all don't know that song. But yeah, so the song was a hit in the States. I don't even think that was 2000s. Was that 90s? And it is a lot of people have done that beat in like R&B songs. Here's the thing. Belgium might sneak their way through. I feel it. And I was talking to Mihal, Louis, and Mihal was like, Alicia, are you like, where is this coming from? And I'm like, I'm telling you, I watched all of the Eurovision. There is not one song like it. And the most competition it has is North Macedonia.
Look at where it falls. Like after that run of songs, it's pretty nice.
Oh,
Good
Lord.
vocals too.
The only thing I'll say is I didn't like this song the first time I heard it. And you're going to get a lot of voters listening to it for the first time. I like it now. I actually really do like it. It's on my playlist now. The first time I heard it, I didn't like it. I don't even know if I could explain why. It's just, you hear it for the first time. It's a yes or a no. It was a no for me the first time I heard it. But I felt like there was like potential in it. So I did give it a chance. I'm like, let me listen to it a few more times. And then I really do like it. I sing along to it. It's good. But people listening to it the first time, even in the chat, I'd be interested to know, did you guys like it the first time you heard it? Because I didn't.
I'm the complete opposite. I liked it the first time, but then when I listened to it again, I was like, nope.
Look, I don't know. It's something about the running order. It's something about the fact that there's nothing like it. If his vocal is good, because I will say, I've heard the vocal not good. Like, where it was like he was, I just, young performers make me nervous in general. I feel that I inhale at the beginning of the song and I can only exhale when we get to the end of it. But I think that this is just like my sort of like mom, like stage mom aspect of following Eurovision. Like there are moments at the end of the song where I'm like, are you going to make it there? And it's like if you don't think you can make it there, don't go. Like I had this with To Say last year where it was like, stop trying. Stop trying to go there. Like, take a deep breath. Think to yourself, are you going to hit it? And if it's more like a no, don't go for it. And I think sometimes, young performers just go out on faith. And they should stop doing that. I don't feel like surefire it would make it through, but I do feel like it's a fencer. And if Azerbaijan doesn't make it through, if Israel doesn't, North Macedonia doesn't, Romania doesn't, Montenegro doesn't, and Jeremy gets out there and gives kind of like almost like a Justin Timberlake-esque, not really Bruno Mars, but like Justin even Justin Bieber, because he used to do the dancing. Um,
There's a path to qualification, and I think the juries would be the big stepping stone here.
mm-hmm. Where it just ends up like in like the top 10 of every jury.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then
see people tanking it.
yeah, and then like given the running order, a lot of people seeing it and then they remember it because it's like it's really the only like kind of R&B hip hop vibe song.
It's a nice safe one, like to be your seventh or something, you know?
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah, Usher vibe. I'm like I could see it. I could see it, but let's move on to Sweden. What are we gonna say? I think that this is gonna win the semi. Do any of y'all
Easily.
think? Do y'all think anything else is not gonna win the semi? Like something else could possibly win the semi other than Sweden?
No, no. It was so kind of the 16 other artists to agree to be the warm up for the Cornelia Jacobs concert. Like, thank you guys so much for showing up. But like, Cornelia's here and we're all here to see her. It's her world and we're living in it. Um, Maximum amount of 12 points across the board. Um, I see no. I mean, I'm living in my delusion. But this is just so iconic. She has to win this semi-final. She's going to get a record amount of jury points, record amount of televote points. They're going to cancel the final and be like, "There's no point because Cornelia is too good." And we've never had that many points in a Eurovision semi-final. So sorry, everybody, pack up and go home. Um, that's all I have to say. And I hope that when she won Melody Festivalen and she changed in the final chorus and went, "Give me the night." Oh my god, I hope she does that because the goosebumps are so real. So many people relate to this song. It's just like everybody at some point in their lives has like felt a little bit of this song in their soul, or will, or like is currently, or I just this song is magic. Like it's laced with something. I'm obsessed with it. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That is all I have to say.
This track, so if we see like how Måneskin, their trajectory over the last year, how they've been able to infiltrate like globally, it's amazing. Shout out Måneskin. Now, out of all the tracks this year, I feel like this has the most potential to pick up and just like go global. I really do. Like, it is such a good song. It's English, it helps it that way, but well, Måneskin was able to get in. I don't know. They won with a non-English song and we're still able to do it, but yeah. I just feel this song is so good. Even if you don't like pop, you're going to be into this. She sells this song. You feel the lyrics. She's doing what Poland cannot do or hasn't been able to do thus far, is sell the song. And I'm just blown away by this song. It blows me away. I love it.
Now I will say I just have to reflect because I don't want people to be like, "Oh, you're muting people who don't like it or whatever." So there are some people, and I recognize there are some people who do not feel this song. And you don't like it? Well, but you know what? I will say this. My mom does not have Sweden in her top 10. She and one of the things my mom pointed out, I don't know if this is even like notable, but my mom was just like, "But see, like I don't know if she like this is my mom talking. But see, really it's the camera doing the work to bring life to the performance. Cuz she's really just standing there, walking around, and the camera's really creating the dynamic element in the song. And so then I of course had to I was like, well, yeah, I mean if I can use the camera and stay in one place, I'm going to use my free camera angles to create some dynamism so that I can deliver the song. So not a slight for me, but yeah, my mom was just sort of like, she didn't think it was bad, but there were just other songs that she sort of was rating. So it's like, okay, mom. All right, with.
It's not that I don't like it. I just don't get why everyone loves it. The lyrics are like any other love song. The melody, there is one point in the melody where I start singing Shallow. Every single time I go into Shallow. I love her voice. Really, really, really love her voice. But the song itself, I mean, I know it's going to do well. It might even win. But no.
Yeah, I will say with when Sweden came out, so in, Deltavling 1, when I heard it, I was like, at that point, to me, I was like, Italy is winning Eurovision this year. And then we got the song, and I was like, this is the first song that I felt like could challenge Italy when we heard it at the time. So think back to when we finally heard the song on that Saturday night. I was like, oh, this I actually think could challenge Italy. But I do worry about its televote prospects. That's the only thing that I'm like, maybe that'll trip it up. I love this song. It's one of my favorites from this year. I would love to see it win. Wouldn't be mad to see it win. But when I think objectively, I do think there might be some barriers to it advancing. And then my mom also gave me pause because I really thought my mom would just like it. I was really thinking that this would be one of her shoo-ins of like, oh yes. But she was just sort of like, yeah, no, it's good. Like, but no. I am what I am. I was like, okay, Mom. All right. And then our show closer, the Czech Republic, which I will say I have the interview dropping with the Czech Republic. Probably tomorrow that'll be coming out. Love talking to them. How are y'all feeling about Czech Republic? Actually, I'm going to kick it off with Tara because I know this was one of your early favorites.
Yeah, early favorite for sure, especially with what we got early on. The first quarter of the competition, those first 10 songs, this really stood out in a really good way to me. I really, really liked it. They did do a revamp, which I was really surprised by because I thought the original entry was just phenomenal. The revamp, I found it a little odd. It was almost like they put the vocals behind everything else. Like you can't really hear, it's in the studio track. Like it's the vocals go down. It's I don't know. I don't know why they did that, but early favorite, still I think in my top 10 if I can remember right. It's a good time. No, it's not my top 10 anymore, but it's a good time. It's fun, a good show closer, and I think it'll do well. I just think it's fun. I like it.
All right, with
I like the verse, not too sold on the chorus. Every time it comes on, for me, it's a bit like no comparison, but like San Marino 2013. It's like when it starts, I go like, "What's this? This is really good," and then that happens. It's like the canned drums, and I just don't like it anymore. So I like the verse, really, really. Well, yeah, but not the chorus. I'm sorry. So you kind of have to like the whole song.
I like this one. It's a bit of fun. The lyrics are cool. Like she's talking about changing my furniture, changing my bed covers. Like we've all been there, just trying to like feng shui the house, like trying all these little changes. I think this could be fun. It will be really interesting to see the transition from the Czech selection to Eurovision stage, because it can't be anything like what it was, or can it? Can they build that into the Eurovision stage? I mean, you never know. Czech Republic has done a pretty good job of staging. It's been hit and miss, but in general, I think they've been hitting it more than missing. And it's pre-party performances have left a little to be desired, maybe more on the vocal front, but nothing that can't be fixed or tweaked. I think it's a fun show closer. It's a fun show closer, and a definite change in pace and a change in energy from Cornelia. Very curious to see what they're going to do with this one, actually.
So I think my perspective is sort of that I think that I would have had it earlier. I actually worry about it closing the show, that other people will have favorites and then not back this one. That I actually think this coming last gave me the most pause for it. Because ultimately, unlike Austria with the staging, where that energy is just, it's a club track that's just so this, where you have to feel like you're in a club. This is sort of that like dark kind of Scandi electro piece where it's like you can be alone, you know, on stage. It can, like, the emptiness of the stage actually could work to its advantage, I think. The vocal has to be perfect. If there is any falter in the vocal, it's over. It's
But
over.
most times when she's performed it live, though, she's been. It's not that it's been bad. It's been kind of flat.
I get what you're saying, because in the vocal, it's, and I listened to the karaoke track of it, where it's like the top line is in the backing. And what that can create then is this monotone piece that sometimes doesn't work on the Eurovision stage. But I do think it's so well produced. It's so modern. I find it hard. If it doesn't make it through, I think it's either borderline or it just tanked. And the juries just did nothing for it. Like, that's what it would have to be, the jury's doing nothing for it. But I find that hard to believe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, oh, someone says they don't think the televote will love it. I worry about this being, I think being last actually was not good for it. Like, Brooke, I think, could have benefited off of being last, because it's upbeat, it's fresh, there's a youthfulness to it that I think that could have lifted following Sweden in a good way. Whereas Czech Republic being last, I just am like, no, I would have had it break up Poland. I would have had it break, you know what I mean? Like, I would have had it like just come in a space where it truly could be the reset that I feel like it is. Like, even on my own playlist, I have this as like a transition song, because it is something that can take me from something mellow into something more dancey and upbeat. Any last thoughts, y'all?
It's an interesting mood to leave at the end in terms of the actual songs themselves, when you go from the penultimate song from Cornelia, like kind of an ode to like her lover who has left her and this kind of sad feeling, then the switch up to, you know, Lights Off, Where Are You Now, That I Need You, but it's on a much more upbeat kind of I'm moving on kind of sentiment. I do feel like, looking at this semi-final, of course we have vocals and staging and so on to consider, but a lot of actually what, in terms of what performances will progress, I think could also do with the mood of the televoter and the jurors that particular week. You know, for example, Montenegro, I think I saw a comment in the chat here that I agree with. Will Europe be in the mood for that sort of song at that very moment, you know? And I think that could dictate a lot of what will happen.
Yeah. I think that this semi was our bloodbath semi. We knew we were going to lose something good out of here. I mean, honestly. Uh, yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, well, let's close it out. Who do you think is going to come in the top three of the semi? I think we're all in agreement that Sweden. I think Sweden. I mean, come on, Sweden is winning this semi, like cakewalk, winning the semi, which doesn't necessarily mean that she's a shoo-in to win the final because Malta won the semi last year too. So that's not saying anything there, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Serbia was in the top three
I
of
was
the
just going to
televote.
say, I think Serbia is going to be top 3 in the semi.
I see Finland doing well. And potentially Estonia. I know Victor Krone's result kind of surprised me in 2019. I could see it paralleling that.
I mean, it's hard for me to think of the overall top three because in my brain I almost want to just say, well, but Poland. I think Poland could, if he's not just stationary behind a mic, I think Poland could be top three in the semi. Yeah, in the semi. I don't know. People are saying Cyprus. Oh, I see Australia in the mix, which honestly, I could see Australia top three with the jury. I could. I could, yeah. Yeah.
Sweden for sure. Well, okay, so my personal top three, maybe. Personal top three: Sweden, Cyprus, and North Macedonia. I know I'm dreaming there, but that's my personal top three. I was just kind of browsing, like seeing streaming numbers, like see like what are people feeling currently. A lot of songs have like 1 to 3 million streams, and then you have Sweden with over 14 million. And we won't even bring up Italy, almost 75 million.
Oh, please, let's bring up Italy.
So it's just interesting looking at the streams. Poland only has like over 1 million, which I thought I was surprised by.
Yeah. Actually, but this person just said, I'm actually going to dig my heels in on Belgium. Because when I think of the jury, it's hard for me not to see Belgium in the top 5 of all the juries if his vocal is together. If his vocal is together, it is hard for me to see that not in the top 5 of some of these juries. Israel could get behind it. Azerbaijan could get behind it. Malta could get behind it. Australia, Cyprus.
Ireland,
maybe. Maybe. Sweden will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Czech Republic will.
My top 3, though,
Poland
would
might
be Serbia, Finland, and Australia. No, Serbia, Australia, North Macedonia. I think would be my top 3 in this semi. But they're definitely not going to be the top 3 because obviously Sweden. And so I think Sweden, Poland, and perhaps Australia.
They're calling you out, Alicia. You're muted.
How can I hate Poland? I said it was going to come top 3 in the semi. I said it was going to come
saying things.
I said it was going to come top 3 in the semi. Right, yeah. Like, I said it was going to come top 3 in the semi. What are we talking about? Fantasyland. Yeah, I mean, I think of realistic top 3. Yeah, I said Sweden, Poland, maybe Serbia with a nice pad from the televote. Like, cause Serbia could just straight up win the televote, possibly. Possibly. I I mean, it's not starting from zero with the juries, but I wonder how the non-Balkan juries will approach the song.
Ireland will give no points to
Yeah.
Serbia. So, but like the thing is, if it's divisive enough, like okay, Macedonia, Montenegro, it's going to collect points from those, and it's the in between ones. Like at UK, it's probably not going to pick up any points either. So it's the in between, like Central European countries, maybe would be the decider on that.
Oh, I think someone asked, like, I mean, I already did my video. So I won't waste the time, but who are y'all thinking could win? I mean, because this is like our stream before we get the rehearsals and stuff, and we will do. I think I said I was gonna figure out a stream, for us to do either maybe before the final or maybe after. Maybe we do like a retrospective of like what went down.
After the second semi would be nice.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just after second semi, we could do that. So once we get the staging, I guess is what I'm saying. Like once we can see the performances and do something then. Yeah. What are y'all thinking?
Like of who could win the final, like overall? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, who do you think could win? I did a video where I talked about who I thought could win.
Yeah, Italy, Sweden,
Italy,
Spain.
I have 4 in my mind, which have kind of all been largely spoken about. What I see most with the path to win. One is Ukraine, Spain, Italy, and Sweden. I think they're all in with a relatively equal chance, but it's day to day. I switch between who I think. Like yesterday, I thought it was Spain. The day before, I thought it was Italy. So I think it's going to depend on Europe's mood and the way the points fall.
Yeah, the live show will determine everything. I think your top 4 is spot on. I think it really is between those 4, and vocals, staging, styling, the show will determine who of those 4 will win.
Mm-hmm. You're muted, Alicia.
You're muted again.
Sorry. Thank y'all for joining. It's so nice to chat with you all, and hopefully, maybe we'll do like after semi 2. I will be on European time, so Tara, we'll have to work around your schedule, really. But well, no,
I might be
easy.
in Turin with you, Alicia.
Uh-oh.
We might be sitting beside each other.
No, I love it. So, I'm excited. I will be going to Turin this week. It doesn't feel real, but it is. But thank y'all so much for joining. Thanks to everyone who watched the stream. Please come back. We will do far more of these. Yo, like, it feels so close. This is surreal. Like, it's going down. All right. Bye, y'all.